resilience, the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Got to have it. It's going to happen, and man, we got to excel in it. The cracks of living life, playing in the NFL, fill them with gold, man.
It's week 16 of this NFL season and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy inside the Globe Life studio here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. It's the Cowboys and the Eagles. It's a 3:25 kickoff on Saturday afternoon. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to all of you there. And it's easy to get ready for this game when you got the Eagles coming to town, right, Coach?
Definitely. I mean, I think just the biggest thing is we all understand the importance of division games, have an opportunity to play these guys earlier in the year. I mean, I think it's, without being said, a game, we look forward to. But, we just have a lot to prove to ourselves and keep focused on ourselves and stay in tune with what, everything that's in front of us. But, playing your best football this time of year is our focus.
You look at this Eagles team, they're 13-1 on the season. Let's focus on their offense right now. What do you think's been the key to them being so successful offensively? Really, you look at both of these teams, rank up there top of the league, both offensively and defensively. But offensively for them, what do they got?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, if you look at the numbers, obviously their run game is outstanding. But what I have been impressed with, if you look at the Green Bay game, the way they ran the ball, but then they also come out the next week and have a very productive, day throwing it. So their ability to run and pass, I would say particularly the last 6 weeks has been impressive. But I just think like any top-notch offense, it definitely starts with the run game with these guys.
And up front on the offensive line too. One of the big things about this Eagles team is they've been injury-free for the most part. I think they've only missed 265 offensive snaps from their starters this season out of 4,600 snaps.
Yeah, definitely. And it's in a number of those are in the fourth quarter, with leads. So yeah, it's an offensive line that's played together pretty much week in and week out. And as we've continued to talk about the last 3 years, the importance of that. And then, then on the flip side, you see what we're doing. And I'm actually excited the way it's worked out because we've been able to work different combinations and still play at a high level. But the consistency of their offensive line is very impressive.
Running game for them, you mentioned Miles Sanders averaging over 5 yards a carry. Turning to your run defense and losing Leighton Vander Esch last week was a big loss after just 5 snaps in the game against Jacksonville. I guess the good news on him is that you're eventually going to get him back, but he's been playing so well.
Yeah, definitely. Just because of Leighton's history, obviously, the injury, we got really good news on the injury, so that was definitely a relief there. And, we'll see how long it's going to take for him to get back. But, yeah, run defense is a priority like it is each and every week. This is a huge challenge. They're dynamic with really all 3 runners, frankly. So this will be a big challenge for us.
All right, and the cornerback position, Nashawn Wright got an opportunity in the latter part of that game in 19 snaps. What have you seen out of Nashawn and his progress here after being a 3rd-round draft pick?
Well, Nashawn's so dang competitive, and the thing that have always attracted, I know me personally, Tim, was his ball skills and his length and things like that. But most of his opportunities have come on special teams this year. But you get to see him every day at practice. So super competitive, and it'll be great to see him get an opportunity.
Pro Bowl teams were announced this week, and on the defensive side of the ball, you've got 3 players: Micah Parsons, 2nd straight year, of course, Trayvon Diggs as well, and DeMarcus Lawrence for the 3rd time in his career.
Definitely. You love to see your veterans get that recognition because, DeMarcus has done it at such a high level his whole career, here, and obviously our 2 young studs on defense. So just hats off to those individuals. But as we know, it's a team game, and it just really reflects our success on defense.
And in all, 7 Cowboys players make the Pro Bowl. We'll have more on that coming up later here on the Mike McCarthy Show. We're just getting started. David Moore joins us when we come back in just a moment.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. The University of North Texas, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, an NRG company.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, is here inside the Globe Life studios. Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, SportsDayDFW.com. You know, as the Cowboys get set to face the Eagles here recently now, the Cowboys have issues on defense as far as injuries are concerned. And really, David, you look at the last 8 games. Cowboys are 6-2. 2 losses on the road in overtime. You can look at that cornerback position has been a problem spot in both those games.
Yeah, in games they led big and gave up a 14-point lead in Green Bay and 17 in Jacksonville. And since it's the last game, what's fresh in our minds, Jacksonville, who do they attack? Kelvin Joseph, who was in to replace Anthony Brown. You know, Dallas has lost 3 starters this month. 2 of their top 3 corners in the secondary, going back to Jordan Lewis last month, is starting to show. And whenever the coaching staff declares there's an open competition at cornerback in Week 15, you know they are not pleased with what they're getting there.
And when you look at the options that the Cowboys have, Deron Bland has played very well as a rookie, but they do have some options, although they're recent arrivals here like Mackenzie Alexander, Trayvon Mullen, who they just picked up, veteran guys.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely Mullen will do much in this game. Hadn't been here that long. Mackenzie Alexander, again, a slot corner in this league, has experience. If you elevate him, which I think there's a good chance they're going to do that, you elevate him, then you also have Deron Bland, who played outside in college, can also swing outside for you. But all of this overlooks how they ended the game, and that was with Nahshon Wright. And, you know, Nahshon Wright was outstanding in training camp and practice. Got burned a lot in the preseason games. Think he lost a little confidence there, and I think a lot of this season has been about rebuilding that confidence in practice. But he showed, at least day in and day out on the practice field, that he could handle this position. I think he's going to get a chance to do it now.
All right, how big is the loss of Leighton Vander Esch? Fortunately, he will be able to return eventually, but 5 plays into that game, he goes down. And then they've lost Jonathan Hankins, too. As for run defense against this Eagles team.
Two of your best run defenders in the front 7 aren't going to be here against an Eagles team that is outstanding at running the ball. And not just 1 or 2 guys. Their whole scheme is they can hit you a lot of ways. Jacksonville, who wasn't all that good running the ball, had, 191 yards and averaged 7.1 a carry. They've got to get better defensively. You saw Anthony Barr was kind of pressed into that role, doesn't fit. Everyone knows that this team is susceptible to the run, and a lot of it's how it's built. It's built to rush the quarterback. It's with speed. It's with the style of guys they have are more angular, taller guys. They don't have the anchors in the middle of the line. They have to be very, very disciplined. And when this team isn't disciplined in the run defense, what will happen to it is what you saw in the Jacksonville game. Also has to be physical, so they need more of a physical presence in there.
Well, David, enjoy your Christmas Eve at AT&T Stadium and Christmas Day as well. Our thanks to David Moore, as usual. And up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, it's rookie linebacker Damone Clark.
This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team.
Damone Clark, linebacker. No, it didn't. For starters, having to miss quite some time with my injury that I had. But, it's all worth it. I'm able to contribute to the team now, which that's all I really wanted to do, help the team. When I found out, I honestly thought they had the wrong person, and I just called my agent and, finding out the day of me having to go perform at the combine, it was kind of hard on me, but, my agent said, man, we're going to get a second opinion and, just go out there and do what you have to do, and that's what I did. Everything happened for a reason. I just feel like, I wouldn't be in this position without God, and I may not understand what he did back then, but I'll understand later on. To me, I think it's not necessarily the speed of the game, it's just the mental part. In the league, it's a lot of older guys, but they're smart. I wouldn't really say it's it's the ability. I just think they're smarter, you know, and just being able to, you know, differentiate the different things and knowing what they got to go out there and do. I mean, we know the type of team they are. You know, we played them early in the year. You know, of course, we got a nasty taste in our mouth, but they're a good team. You know, they're a good team, and we know, you know, we have to go out there and give our A game. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, being that we played the Giants twice, you know, we about to play the Eagles on Saturday, and then, you know, the last game of the year we got Washington. So I mean, like I said, I'm still kind of feeling for, you know, being that I'm a rookie, but you can tell, you know, when it's division week, you know, the intensity and things pick up because, you know, of course you want to beat the people that's in your division. Go out there, do your 111. Trust the coaching. You know, a great week of preparation. You know, just go out there, band together. Don't separate. Just go out there and play Cowboy football.
Damone Clark and the Cowboys defense with their hands full this week against Philadelphia. And right now we've got Will McClay here to break down what the Eagles have both on offense and defense and why they're 13-1 on the season. How about we start with their offense, Will?
Start with the offense and start with Miles Sanders, 1,000 yards rushing, averaging over 5.2 yards a carry. He's over 30 explosive runs. The offense they run, it's his vision, balance, and his ability to explode and get out of stuff. You see him here. See there, two defenders make this jump cut, get vertical. That's what they're all about in that zone scheme, and he gets some explosive plays.
And eventually he finds a hole and has the speed to get upfield. All right, one of the main reasons, too, that this team is up there at the tops as far as a rushing offense has to do with this man here, the quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Over 600 yards rushing for a quarterback. We're going to take a look at here. Not only the design runs, but it's getting out of the pocket. He sees these two wide threes. They don't maintain rush discipline. Now he makes them play. Now they're missing 1, 2, 3 tackles that they missed, and because it's a quarterback running the ball.
There you go. And he's got 13 rushing touchdowns on the season, 22 throwing the ball, only 5 picks on the season as well.
And he's advanced so much from when he came out. Here, they're going to see a look. They're going to go 3 by 1. All right. He's going to look at the safety. He's going to see that down safety kind of cheat this right here. He knows he's got a one-on-one outside, and then he makes an accurate back shoulder throw. Tough to defend. You've got the legs. You've got the arm, reading coverage. He's doing a good job.
All right, flip it over on the defensive side of the football. They got a lot of guys up front, but leading the way with their sacks total at as 12 on the season now is Hassan Reddick, a former first-round pick.
Use him all over the place. Here he is right here. It's going to be a great edge rush. All right. Well, he's going to rush off the edge, and what he does is smart. He gets to the level of the quarterback. Now he sees a quarterback step up. He comes underneath. Great pressure from the edge. Now they're going to use him in another way here. What they're going to do is they're going to show 5-man surface, maybe 6, trying to get one-on-ones. They're going to use their big guys to create space for him to rush using his quickness and his speed. We'll take a look at it right here. All right. They're going to rush. He's going to time it. Gets to the quarterback before he even gets set.
It's kind of a defensive version of Miles Sanders. He found the hole and burst through it and got to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Will, we appreciate it. And up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, the coach rejoins us.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Here inside the Globe Life studio, Bill Jones now rejoined by the head coach. We turn our attention to the Cowboys offense against the Eagles defense. You know, you look at both of these defenses, top 2 in the league scoring defense, top 2 in the league in sacks, top 2 in the league in takeaways as well. There's a correlation there between sacking the quarterback and getting takeaways.
That is the number one, opportunity to take the ball away is the sacks of the quarterback. That hasn't changed in decades in this league. But yeah, definitely, I think clearly, not only the sacks, but the pressures, the hits, and and our guys do it better than anybody in the league, and they're doing a great job of it too. So, I mean, you look at the way both these defensive fronts are built. This will be a great challenge for both offensive lines.
Yeah, very similar in the way you get. There's so many players who can get to the quarterback. When you look at the Eagles on the outside, of course, with Hassan Reddick, who's got 12 sacks on the season. But I want to ask you about the inside guy, Javon Hargrave, who has 10 sacks on the season. He is a handful in there.
Yeah, I mean, so impressed with him. I just saw all 3 years. I mean, he's definitely, probably, not only an anchor, but, a playmaker inside. I mean, anytime you have double digits from an inside defensive lineman, that speaks for itself. So, but I think the thing that's most impressive about their D line is their depth. And Riddick's playing at a really high level. So. Once again, it's definitely a focal point for us.
All right, Tyron Smith made his 2022 debut at right tackle last week. Probably more snaps than you expected in that game against Jacksonville. But how did things turn out for Tyron in his first?
It definitely turned out well. I mean, the floor was 35 snaps, and so anything above that was definitely done with communication, and Tyron came out of it clean. So, definitely what we were looking for, to achieve there. So. I think number one, just the combination of him and Zach over there. Obviously, these two guys have played a lot of football here in Dallas, and I think it's really, frankly, I think it's kind of cool to watch them play together.
Yeah, and of course, now they have the same number of Pro Bowls in their career. As we talk about the offensive players who made the Pro Bowl team, Zach gets it for the 8th time in his career. CeeDee Lamb for the 2nd time. And how about Tony Pollard, first time? You already knew you had 2 Pro Bowl running backs on this roster, and now it's official with Tony getting it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just what a great combination of Tony and Zeke, and just and once again, I mean, there's always, from a head coach's perspective, some disappointment, because you always want to see all your guys recognized. But for Tony, just I think it's just a reflection of what he's done the last couple years. CD, 2 years in a row, so he's a young man off to a great career, and I think he's done a tremendous job stepping into the one spot. And Zach Martin's been Zach Martin. Yeah,
he has been throughout his career. All right, passing game against this Eagles secondary. They've got, of course, Darius Slay, a guy that you've competed against going back to your days in Green Bay. It is a secondary that has some playmakers back there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Darius Slay has done it for so long. I mean, I've always felt he was the best corner in the NFC North in his time up there in Detroit. So, he's still rolling, very instinctive, very aware. His ability to read concept, jump routes, and all that. So, but yeah, when you look at their secondary, they do an excellent job getting their hands on the ball.
All right, we wrap up the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Give the gift of the Cowboys this holiday season with a Dallas Cowboys United membership. Gift your superfan an annual fan club membership and fan pack for as little as $20. 'Tis the season. Learn more at dallascowboys.com/united. Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, as we get you ready for the 3:25 kickoff against the Philadelphia Eagles. I haven't forgotten one more Pro Bowler on this Cowboys team, and that would be the return specialist, Cavante Turpin. And what a great story Cavante is.
No doubt about it. Just so proud of him. I mean, you think about his arrival to Oxnard and just, the opportunity that he's had with us, and just, so exciting when he gets his opportunity in the return game. So just a great story, from TCU to the USFL MVP and now going to the Pro Bowl. So great job.
He made a stop in Poland, I think, on the way, playing football in Poland on the way to here. And he's quickly become one of the more popular players on your team, too.
I mean, he's a guy, how do you not love him? I mean, he's, same guy every day, brings great energy, a lot of juice, and obviously he's brought a whole different dynamic to our special teams.
Another thing that you love with the weather that you have here in North Texas this week and all across the country, that you get to play this game in AT&T Stadium, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody talks about, this is your weather. This is not my weather. So I am so thankful for AT&T.
Yeah, it makes for a better football game when you can play indoors and make it loud, right?
Oh, always. I mean, and our home crowds have been phenomenal, and I know come Saturday afternoon they'll knock it out of the park.
All right, be a nice little Christmas present for Cowboys fans by Christmas Eve night. We appreciate it, Coach. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you and your family, and to all of you out there. And we will see you again next week on the next edition of the Mike McCarthy Show.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.